Hello, boys. Happy Father's Day. I figured I would do a troop count, global troop count, because we are getting into um, important rounds, and this game might be over very shortly. We'll see. Yeah, that was a mess. Anyway, let's start from left to right. America has, in central and eastern United States, one mech, two artillery, four infantry, two AA, one tank. Out to sea in 101, they have four transports. The British still have three infantry in British Guiana. In 91, there's a Russian sub, and oh boy, would I love to get my hands on that bastard. Two American transports, one American sub, two American destroyers, and one British transport. Um, there's a tank, an infantry, and an artillery in Morocco. One American destroyer in 92. In Gibraltar, there are three infantry and one artillery. There's two American subs in 93, three American subs in 95. In Tunisia, there's one American mech. The Italians still own Libya, but their artillery died in killing the American infantry. The British have two tanks and one mech in Tobruk. In Egypt, they have two infantry, and the French have two infantry, and the Anzac have two infantry. There's a transport in 81, a cruiser in 98. We have yet to come to the conclusion of the skirmish in 99 involving the Italian sub and the French destroyer from turn 7, I believe. In Malta, there's an infantry, a fighter, a attack bomber, and an AA gun. In 97, the Italians have two destroyers, two subs. In Rome, they have three fighters, five infantry, and three AA guns. Northern Italy, they have two tanks, two artillery, one mech, one AA, one air base, two German attack bombers, and one German fighter. There's an Italian tank in Yugoslavia and Italian infantry in Bulgaria. The Italians also in Western Germany have two infantry, two artillery. The Germans have three AA, seven mechs, four infantry, two tanks, three fighters. In Holland, they have a mech and an artillery. Paris, they have three artillery. In Normandy, they have two artillery. There's a German destroyer and sub in 113. It's not going to be enough. I could have just put a sub in 114 and this whole game would have been saved. Damn shame. Russians had a sub in 113. Here's the discrepancy. The Americans in Season 110 have two carriers with three fighters, one TAC, one battleship, one cruiser, two destroyers, a sub, as well as, I believe, just four transports for America, as well as three for Britain. So whatever's on board those American transports, it's not six transports. It should only be five. I believe George sent one back. So if that's the case, there would be one mech, two AA, one artillery, and just six infantry on board those. In London, there's three fighters, and if that math is correct, there's then two remaining British infantry, two AA, and two French infantry. In Finland, there's one German infantry. In Leningrad, three tanks, three mechs. In Belarus, two German infantry. Smolensk, one German infantry. Bryansk, one German infantry. Ukraine, we have 12 tanks, two mechs, one infantry. In Rostov, two AA guns, 19 infantry, 11 artillery, 3 tanks. Caucasus, the British have a mech and a tank. Stalingrad, the British have 1 infantry, along with the Russian 3 infantry and 3 artillery. Tambov, 1 Russian infantry. Moscow has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 artillery, 2 mechs, 5 tanks, 10, 20, 36, 37 infantry, 3 fighters, 1 TAC, 3 AA guns, as well as 2 British fighters. There's 1 infantry in Novitsburg. In Persia, there's 1 artillery and 2 infantry. There's nothing down in South Africa. In 39, there's a destroyer. In India, there's a bomber, a fighter, a TAC, an AA gun, 8 infantry. Burma, 1 infantry. Shan State, 2 infantry. Let's move on up to Yunnan. There are 3 Chinese infantry plus a fighter. There is 1 British tank, 3 British infantry, 3 British mechs, and 2 AA guns. In Sichuan, there's a British AA gun, an artillery, 4 infantry, as well as 3 Chinese infantry and 1 artillery. The Japanese have 3 infantry and 2 artillery in Sakang, Shanghai, 2 infantry, 1 tank. Gansu, 1 infantry, 1 mech. Yenisei, 3 Russian infantry. Yakut, not sure about this count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 infantry and 2 AA. That might be wrong. Bayuntoha is 1 Japanese tank. Jahal, 1 artillery, 1 infantry. Chahar, 2 mechs, 2 tank bombers. Quichao, 1 Chinese infantry, 1 Chinese artillery. Quang, see, 1 Chinese infantry, 1 artillery. In Hong Kong, the Japanese have 1 fighter, 3 infantry, 1 AA gun. In Kangxi, 2 artillery. In Shanghai, 3 infantry. We already did Jahal. Manchuria, 2 infantry, 1 mech, 2 bombers, strap bombers. Amur, 2 infantry. In Japan, there are 3 fighters, 6 infantry, 1 AA gun. There's also 2 destroyers, 1 carrier, 1 fighter, 1 TAC out to sea in Sea Zone 6. There's a destroyer in 18. There's a destroyer in 21. In 35, there's 2 battleships, 2 carriers, 3 TACs, 1 fighter, 1 destroyer, 1 cruiser, and on the mainland there are 3 fighters. Celebes, Japanese have 2 infantry. Out to sea in 44, there's an Anzac sub. There's also an Anzac artillery in Dutch New Guinea. Borneo is held by the Japanese, but by just 1 infantry. Java has 1 Japanese infantry, 1 fighter, 1 TAC. Sumatra has 3 infantry, 1 artillery. Sea Zone 37 has 3 subs, 1 transport, 1 carrier, 1 fighter, 1 TAC. And on Malaya's mainland, there's a factory with 3 damage on it, 3 infantry, 1 AA gun. Oh boy, what a big mess we have here. So let's start here. Western United States has a mech and a AA. Hawaii has a infantry and an AA. There are 3 subs in Johnston Island, Sea Zone of 30. The Anzacians have 1 artillery in New South Wales, as well as 1 transport and 1 sub out to sea in 62. In Queensland, there's an American strap armor, 2 American infantry. There's 1 Anzac fighter, 5 Anzac infantry, 1 Anzac artillery, 2 Anzac AA guns. And then out to sea, we have a British battleship. We have Anzac with a carrier, 2 fighters, 1 transport, 1 cruiser, 1 destroyer. The Americans have 3 destroyers, 2 cruisers, 1 battleship, 3 carriers, 5 fighters, 1 TAC bomber. I don't see any subs here. And that should be the whole deal for the whole map. Yeah, this game might come to a quick end. If the Americans can take out that destroyer in 13, 1, 2, 3 for the British, land 1 man in Berlin, and this game's over. So, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, there's a troop count to the best of my knowledge. If there's anything wrong, let me know. And that's the whole deal.